overnight, 12 hours ideally. If you're in a rush, you can use it today, but overnight in the chiller, that meat will set. So when you cook that, shape will still be intact. The reason why it's in shape, because we did the massage part, break down the structural fibre.
Wow.
Okay. Alternatively, take the cling film off, put it inside a vacuum pouch with that, with the grease proof on it, and sous vide. Alternatively, just keep the grease proof paper on, wrap it in foil, and slow roast it. The grease proof retains a lot of the moisture content. It'll keep it juicy and succulent and moist. And then when you're ready for service, you sit down, you let it rest. When you're ready for service, roll it around on a hot plate. You'll get your caramelisation, your colour, and tomorrow. So the big secret with secondary cuts, the slower you cook them, the better the outcome. All the big fibres, all these big fibres, are surrounded by small little elastic bundles that contain the fibres. When we use high heat on secondary cuts, that elastic bundle tightens up, keeps the texture very tight, and can be a little bit chewy. But slow cooking, that just sort of dissolves and let it go up, and then you get that softness in the texture, and it's just cooking technique, that's it. You get to exercise your skills. Importantly, what you've got is something that actually looks the part. It's going to give you that round shape like a cube roll or like a tenderloin before. And then we do the same with the other end.
So you leave in the pre-pan lid 12 hours?
Look, you can do it straight away, but the longer you leave it, at least if you leave it overnight, it's going to stay that shape. You can unroll that now, roll around and barbecue it, and it'll still be round.
Yeah.
If you did it straight away, it'd probably change shape a little bit. But if you leave it overnight, it can still be the same shape. So this is the important bit. It's just massaging it enough so you literally break down the structural fibre that's in there.
So the key is, David, I think, is when you're preparing it in the background, slow cooking.
Yeah.
But how you want to finish it is a different thing. Like once it's slow cooked and sous vide or whatever, then you can fry it on the barbecue if you want.
Exactly.
Once it's ready, just before you serve it.
8th rib, yeah. From the 8th rib upwards to here is the point end brisket. So point end brisket here, navel end brisket there. That's that part there. We'll open it up. Let's see if we wait this one open.
Yeah, let's see. This is, if you want to compare this to another, it's like pork belly, this. It's like pork belly. Same part, the flatter. Yeah, it's the flatter. Take it off again.
So of this part, there's a better section. When you talk about the karubi plate, we're talking about that section just there. This, as a whole piece, can be braised, but we need to remove this little part here. It's the only one that'll let you down. We call this the red bark. It's best to try and remove it if you can.
Let me get
Get that plate open, yeah. Maybe if we start over there. This one, mince only, but not burgers. can mince, but not burgers. So this is good for a spaghetti bolognese, ragu cooking, but not for burger. So what we're going to do is just going to cut the best end of this. Shit, did I get that wrong? This bit is known as the short plate or the Karubi plate. Really good to braise. So if you braise it a long time, sort of 2 to 3 hours, really quickly. So it's really good fat to put into burgers, really good fat to put into sausages. So if it was me, I'd be taking that sort of trim and putting it with it. So there's your lean meat, there's your fatty meat. That would make the most sensational burger you'll ever eat. The fat melts at a different melting point, so it certainly cooks out. And the flavour of the brisket's really, really pronounced, so you get a really definite good flavour. If you get the chance, use that, you guys,
So we can buy them together.
to make a burger. Try it out for yourself. You'll love it. It's really, really good. And it's just so cheap. It's a cheap ingredient to make a burger out of.
No.
Out of it, you get something that you can make some money out of in the restaurant, whether it's in a tapas or a tasting plate. Quite often they'll serve it in like a sensual bao type of presentation. You know, the lettuce cut, a couple of pieces of the meat wok tossed with lots of aromatics, chili, garlic, ginger, and then maybe sweet soy sauce just to finish it, something like that. So you get that. And then
It's
got
boom.
super soft.
Yeah, it's
soft.
just like boom.
Yeah, but the most important thing, you've got to render the fat. The fat will render down to get that sort of really beautiful flavour profile to it.
So is it more expensive than the brisket?
It's much cheaper than a point brisket.
Yeah.
So the navel end is cheaper because there's a lot more fat and things there. But if you know how to use it, it's a perfect complement to your burgers and everything else. So it's actually worthwhile. It's worth the effort to do it that way. Lose me yet?
No, he's getting the pass.
So the last one we have was supposed to be a chuck roll, and I've got the wrong meat cut. So this is actually what we call a eye round. It comes from the leg cut on the outside just here. Okay.
You finished with the brisket?
Yep. So this item is a really good pastrami. So do you do any home cures or pickles here? Do you do any like bacons or anything?
No.
No? Do you make any bacon here? Fresh bacon or smoke any products?
Yes, we have bacon right here.
Yeah?
Yeah, fresh bacon.
You make it?
No, we order.
Yeah, you order.
We never
So
make
the
it home.
classic use for this around the world is pastrami. And where this goes really well as a hot meat would be a pastrami, black pepper crumb around the outside. But you would salt this meat. So just pack it in salt. So then when you're cutting it, all of the meat fibre is running in that direction. You cut thin slices, and you have a pink salted meat. Very delicious, and then peppercorns around the outside to just lift the flavour profile of it.
No.
Can be hot or cold.
Hot or cold, yeah. So very good as a cold meat sandwich.
If you're thinly sliced, if you have a slicing machine,
Yes, we have a slice
yeah,
like
if it's
machine.
cold, once you do that process, you can just thinly slice it,
Yeah.
and you know, on the breakfast menu or the lunch menu or whatever, as a cold beef for the salad. Or
Cold beef.
Cold
No,
beef.
so we use fresh beef. Fresh, no need to cook.
Oh no! As in you cook it, and then
Yeah.
it can go cold, and then you can serve it as a
So,
chill.
so we slide into the thin part and we
Thin,
serve.
thin.
So this is a leg muscle, so the texture is a little more texture. So if you cut a thick steak, quite chewy.
It's not going to be good.
But
Yeah.
if you cook it and cut it thinly, it's very delicious. You actually want that bit of chew there. Just don't have to finish that off.
It's a leg mushroom, but it's not chewy.
Sorry.
It's the leg mushroom.
Most of the legs got more texture, so you always have a little there. But you can get around that by technique. So sous vide, low temperature roasting, that type of technique will get you around that. But the truth is, it's very hard to find that shape. You know, when you think about that, that'll fit a sandwich. One slice is round, looks good on the plate. So from a buffet presentation point of view, if all the meat cuts were shaped like this, our truffles would be over.
Would be over.
So easy. But unfortunately, they're all shaped like this and all like that one. So remember what that looked like before versus a bit of technique in the way in which you would cook that to turn out something really quite delicious from it. So that's our presentation. So, any questions?